Shine. Huh?
You know that?
No, I don't. I see you just saying it.
You better learn by ear.
Okay.
What would we do without the gay boy? What would we do? What would we do?
Ladies and germs, welcome back.
Welcome back. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. We are here every Monday. Remember, you can get us on iTunes and Spotify for the podcast and on YouTube
for a little video component.
for the vids.
So you can see these caras.
Las caras.
Like we like to say.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are beautiful and colored.
Oh, yes.
And speaking of which,
Okay.
today we're going to talk about dating outside your race.
Yes.
And even though this is our gay agenda, we're also both people of color. And in the dating world, in the gay world, we just wanted to talk a little bit about what that experience is like. Have you dated outside your race? Have you only dated outside your race? What are the issues? What are the great things? All the things. I'm excited to unpack all of this.
I am too, and I would
Unpack. I got my suitcase. Let's go.
La maleta. Okay. So, and I also like it because it relates to our preferences episode about we talked about racial preferences. Look back in the Rolodex and you'll see that in the archives.
Yes.
As we say. Spot on the question. You have only dated white men primarily, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of dated because I've barely dated. Let me explain that.
Okay.
So I've only dated. So what would you consider dating? Like going on dates or dating a person like multiple for like a couple
This is
months?
multifaceted. Let's answer it several ways.
Good.
I'll give you all the parameters.
Yeah.
Dated in terms of actual serious relationship.
Okay.
Dated in terms of someone you were actually interested in dating. And let's also go with hookups.
Dates.
Like
Or dates, yeah.
Or actual dates. Okay, so that's four. Ready?
So, my first two hookups were, oh god, here's the real tea, oh god, were in
Aliens.
college, and they were two white guys. Great.
Okay.
I also was going to a private, small liberal arts college, and there were barely any people of color, so, and gays at that, right?
Right.
Cut to grad school, wasn't out still, didn't make any moves on anyone until I met my eventual husband, so we dated for real for years, and then got married, then got divorced. And so that was my first real dating experience was him. So then after him, the next best thing as far as dating I had were like, I dated one guy for 4 months and that was the longest. And then I went on a few dates with one other guy, both of them white. So then I guess the next thing would be hookups. And as far as people of color there, I've had white, but also other Latinos.
Okay.
And I've had Asian.
Oh, but you don't like no brothers?
No, Asian.
But you don't like no. Okay.
I'm going down the list. Asian and Middle Eastern.
Okay.
And
That's close to.
yeah. I'm getting closer to Africa. I'm trying to think of
I'm just by you.
But no, never a brother
She's scared.
from another mother.
Because what they say is right, girl. Once you go, okay?
You in a wheelchair.
In terms of dating outside your race, when you have with your marriage and with like the guy for 4 months dating, have you found any difficulties, or is this kind of like no, it's not a thing? Yeah.
So difficulties like broke the relationship in any way? No.
Yeah.
But that does happen.
Yes, absolutely.
To people. For me, difficulties in just understanding me, understanding my family, and understanding like certain cultural norms for us as a family than he had. So if you aren't used to that, that can be different. Certain closeness, like also Mexican culture, at least I'll speak for Mexican culture, not the whole Latinx community. But like Mexican culture is very family oriented. If you are in some kind of religion, typically close to that as well. And so that in itself can be different. Like when that's just normal, like I guess everyone could be close with their family, but in our culture, it is very common. Like you're sharing weekends, holidays, when there's a cookout, when there's any kind of meal being prepared at a holiday, it's cousins, first cousins, second cousins.
Yeah.
It's
anybody
everybody.
who's around.
And it's all family.
There's a level of when you're dating outside your race, I think, of needing to explain.
Right.
And with that explanation becomes justification, which makes me feel like I don't want to have to justify my existence, nor should anyone have to. So, but you like that person, you love that person, so that's what you do to cross that bridge, cross the bridges, right? Oh, you don't understand this, you don't understand why this is happening in my family, so now we have to sit down and have like, not a come to Jesus, but like a little bit of, we're gonna sit in the pew and talk about it.
How about you?
Oh, yes.
You dated?
So I grew up, it's not to go all through all the history, but you need a little bit of it. I grew up in northern Minnesota, which is like a very white town.
Snow White.
It's very Snow White. It was when, a lot of my friends were white, and I had some black friends and stuff when I was younger, but as I got older, they just became white friends. But you see through the white lens, right? So I had crushes on boys when I was young, and they were always white boys, and so I didn't date I dated girls in high school, but I didn't date any boys until I went to college. And when I went to college, it was very multicultural, much more multicultural anyway than I experienced before. So I started dating everybody, started hooking up with everybody, but I dated a couple white guys. And then I had this, later on, my mid-20s, late 20s, I had this really strong realization that like I didn't see myself as beautiful, and and that was because of the lens, right? And so I had this strong push to kind of date people of color. I was like, I've never discriminated. If you're cute, you're cute. If there's a connection, there's a connection, like whatever. But I was like, people I want to end up being with, I want them to be people of color. So my longest relationship was with, my boyfriend was black. And then since then, other relationships have probably been with white guys.
Did you ever have any pressure from family about when you did date white people or people outside the race?
It's a thing. In my immediate family, very much so. There's a strong push to date somebody that's black. I remember my sister would jokingly ask me when I was dating somebody, she'd be like, oh, is he a white guy? And I'm like, why does it even matter? We would jest and joke about it, but it mattered, right? And I was talking to my mom recently about somebody that I was kind of talking to, and she was like, one of the first questions she asked, is he a white guy? And I was like, well, he's European. White. So white. Yeah, but he's white, And so when I meet somebody that's kind of an average middle class white guy and like has a nuclear family where my mom was a single mother, I automatically feel like I have to justify these things. I have to over-explain why my existence, why these things existed in my life. And that person might not put that on me. They might not even be asking those questions, but they're inevitabilities, right? When we're talking about families on the third or fourth date, I'm like, oh, well, my dad wasn't really around. Right, my dad wasn't really around, and why wasn't he around? Oh, well, whereas I feel like, and this is not the case, but I feel like with a person of color, with a black person, they would understand it more. This is kind of like maybe a greater stereotype of like the black community or something, is that because you understand, you know other people that were single parents or that grew up in a single family.
Sure.
Not to say white people don't have that experience,
right?
But it's for some reason it feels different, Again, I don't discriminate when I'm dating. I date whoever, but it's a thing. It's like I bring that baggage with me.
So back to dating, even I would love to date someone. Maybe I can try to make a concerted effort, I guess, to try to date another Latinx person, because I've always felt like an outsider, and I feel like an outsider when I'm dating. And I'm so proud of my heritage. I didn't always feel that way.
Yeah. When did that shift for you?
30s.
Yes, girl. I feel you.
Because
that's when I realized I was pretty.
Well,
that's really when I realized.
You really do realize some truths about yourself.
Yes, girl. Yes.
Where you pulled wool over your eyes, or others did it for you, and you didn't realize.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I really am proud of who I am, and like as far as culturally.
I think that literally the nugget, the gem of it, is that in every interaction, you always go into it as a person of color thinking, does my race matter? Or is this white person that I'm in a relationship with, or that I like going to fit into understand things, or vice versa? Am I going to be the token, or is it going to be awkward moments where I'm sitting with their family at dinner, right? And it's our baggage, and it's not saying that like white people probably don't think the same thing in relationship, but it's baggage that you carry with you that you're never able to let go of. I only wish that these roadblocks weren't part of our reality, that we didn't have to ask these questions, but unfortunately we do, or we are asking them, and maybe it's, 20 years from now, 100 years from now, we'll reach a point, if the world's still here, that, where it doesn't matter anymore.
We kind of came into this episode wanting to talk about dating and race, but really it comes down to race.
Yeah,
and that's a big reason why we have this show, is that we're proud as two gay men of color who have multiple perspectives to bring to this platform. So it was a good way to like start the conversation out loud.
Yeah,
and I can't wait for more.
That's a really good call. This is just, as many of our topics have been in the past, it is just the start of the conversation.
Scratch the surface.
Yes, so please, if we said something stupid, something you disagree with, please comment or email us at agendabegay@gmail.com. We are always willing to continue a conversation or have it, so thank you.
And of course, you can also find us on Instagram at chic_chanteur.
Or at thedelon.com.
And we would love to hear from you, because it's really great to know feedback.
Remember to subscribe. We're here every Monday. And until next Monday, this has been Whose Agenda?
Your agenda.
My agenda. Our gay agenda.
What would we do without the gay boy? What would we do? What would we do?